FC Barcelona versus FC Bayern Munich. A fixture that puts Matthews and I's friendship to the test to see who gets bragging rights. And for the last 4 years, I haven't been happy in a very long time. But with a new face now in charge, who is also Bayern Munich's former sextuple winning manager, in charge of one of the most promising and strongest squads in Europe currently, and an extremely young manager with loads of potential, in charge of one of the scariest squads in Europe. The question is, will my winning streak continue, or will I finally get my win? Good afternoon, evening, morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode and our first episode on the newly revived Worldwide Football. After a bunch of TikTok posting on the YouTube Shorts that we're trying to utilize, and after the bullshit that was YouTube taking down our channel, we are now back and we are now ready to begin. And today we're going to take it a little differently. Today we are going to have a press conference sort of video to where both me and my mate over here, Barcelona versus Bayern. This is a story and a match that we've seen countless of times the past 5 years. And, well, honestly, it hasn't been too good for me. But now with new faces...
That's an understatement.
But after new faces and new introduction to managers and players, we are seeing a different Bayern Munich and a very, very different Barcelona side. I'll turn it over to my mate Matthew over here, currently enjoying his life over in Ireland. Indeed. What are your predictions, Matt? What do you feel is Bayern's greatest strength going into the game against Barcelona?
Well, I think our biggest strength has been the goal scoring. That's pretty self-evident. I'd say the wing play has been really good. We have one of the best, if not the best striker in the world, Harry Kane. Michael Olise has been fantastic on that right side. We're getting Musiala back, so that will be a really big plus for another runner to get in behind that Barcelona defense. And who knows who else is utilized, whether it's Müller, Gnabry in that starting role. I mean, Gnabry, even for like his faults, like offensively, is still like dependable on that left side defensively. And I think as well, you have the fullbacks who have done really well in attack this season. And I think overall, that's what really helped the club out the most. Not only do you have a play style that really fits the philosophy of Bayern, but also how it's been applied has been really important.
In my case, I have to shout out Bayern Munich's attack for being absolutely scary. However, when we mention attack, I see a lot of faults, and it's along the lines of you may have one of the best strikers in the world in Harry Kane. You may have an absolutely exciting prospect as your winger in Michael Olise. And you also have one of the best youngsters in the world of football right now, Musiala, coming back from injury. However, apart from that, Bayern's attack, unlike previous seasons, really do not scare me. As much as
you probably would have said that under Nagelsmann as well. We didn't have a striker.
He is also up there in age. And will he be able to deal with the relentless press of Flick's Barcelona? We will see. However, Gnabry by no means scares me because this is not...
He had 3 assists last time in the Camp Nou.
However, I am going to be wary of Alphonso Davies. He has definitely been a lot more involved in the attack. I feel like Koundé will have to do a good job of being able to shut that attacking threat down. At the same time, I believe that our attack, while we have the big Polish man up front, the former Bayern man, finally firing on all cylinders again, we now have an insane talent at right wing in Lamine Yamal, who has been absolutely scary and could possibly terrify your defense. We have...
Well, you would have to get past one of the fastest players in the world
in his free role. And if you're not wary of the runs that he will make and the threat that he poses on and off the ball, then you're going to be pleasantly surprised if he ends up dunking on your ass. And whoever we decide to play at 10, whether it's Pedri or Olmo, even though I doubt that Olmo will start, considering he also just came back from injury, I would be very, worried. But at the same, because Barca
Pedri.
will attack from minute one. So you better
Well,
hope
yeah,
that
we already know
your
that.
midfield
I
could deal with the flick press.
Well, I'd be more worried about Yamal, even though we have the fastest left back on the planet, rather than Pedri, who hasn't done shit as a 10 against us before. So yeah,
Well, that's the thing. Rick, I'm not sure who will play as the 10 in this game. Do I want Olmo to start? Yes, because he terrifies your team. However,
yeah,
I doubt it
that
that he
would
will
be my
start. And
main
if
worry.
Pedri does feature, Pedri will feature in the midfield next to Casado, which brings me to my next point. In the battle of the midfield, you have Pavlovic that is currently out with injury, if I'm correct.
Yeah, so it'll be
So
Paulinho and Kimmich.
your only two midfielders that you could really field are Paulinho and Kimmich.
Yes,
Now, while Kimmich is a threat, however, I will not underestimate the power of Paulinho, despite the fact that he's been very underlooked this season for some reason. And I very much love my midfields. Pedri has really started to come into his own under Flick. And even Casado, who may be 5'2", but on the ball, this guy is a force to be reckoned with, even as a makeshift, even as a number 6.
he's 5'2".
Yeah, Casado's a kind of short. I mean, Mark
Bro, he's
Bernal,
shorter than my mom. That's funny.
that was I think that might be false, but it's something I
There's
saw.
no way he's 5'2".
Regardless,
That'd be
his
shorter
stature
than my
is
mom.
quite small, but he's very formidable on and off the ball, defensively wise, and does well with his passing. And this is a guy that was, pretty much playing second fiddle to Mark Bernal because everyone thought Bernal was going to be the guy to pretty much make that sixth spot his up until he did his ACL. But Castella's really coming to his own, which will make it very difficult for the likes of Frankie de Jong to even break back into the team. I don't see
Mr.
Dink Dong
42
starting
million a
against
year.
Munich, and even if he does, well, I mean, he'll probably just get ran apart. But I think it's a battle of experience. I would be wary of Paulinho, but I
I
think
think Paulinho's
it should be a
perfect
very
for
equal battle between
Yeah,
Bayern
I
and
think
Barcelona.
Paulinho's really perfect, to be honest, to counter what Barcelona is doing. And that's like my main criticism of our last Champions League game against Aston Villa when Company chose the midfield pairing of Pavlovic and Kimmich over starting Paulinho. And we saw how that failed miserably from the start. Like Bayern struggled to win duels, like especially they struggled with a lot of physicality, which Paulinho brings. And I think that's going to be a very important part in this match where Paulinho will be needed. I'm not saying it's a blessing in disguise, but like this is why we bought Paulinho, and this is the type of match that we need him in. So I think, in a way, that's where it becomes really, you know, one of those things where Company's hand is forced in the sense he has to start Paulinho, and it might turn out to be a good thing. Like the only way it turns out to be a bad thing is if Paulinho just, well, his lack of ability on the ball, if that comes back to bite us, which is certainly possible. But I think his defensive output is something that's going to counteract what Barcelona has with their press and their quick pace going forward.
The thing is that to be fair, when it comes to debt in the midfield, and we're talking central midfield, you don't really have a whole lot of debt in that position at the
Well,
moment.
yeah, it's fucking Paulinho and then Limer.
Meanwhile, look at Barca. We got Ding Dong back. We just got Gavi back. We got Pablo Torre.
Gavi.
Fermin Lopez just came back. Danny Olmo just came back. We're stacked.
Oh, so you're gonna
That
play all of
energy
them.
will be extremely useful come second half.
Last time I
All your
checked, you can't
midfielders running on
play.
tired
Last
legs.
time I checked, you can't play more than 4 midfielders on the pitch at the same time.
Well, of course not, mate. But we're not trying to. I'm just saying, when it comes second half, by the time it's necessary to make the subs, and your midfielders are still there.
Well,
Having
they're
the
not going to
first
be
one.
tired, that's for sure.
They will be after dealing with flickball.
Well, Kimmich has played flickball before. Like, he's used to it. Paulinho is just going to sit back there. He's a six. He
All right.
doesn't need to
Now, when
get
it comes
forward
to the
like
defense,
that.
even I'm willing to admit that it worries me because apart from the likes of Kunde and to some extent Balde, who does a little bit more on the defensive than the offensive end, Inigo Martinez for me has done fairly well this season, especially as that left-footed center back that Flick has always seemed to like, which is why he had Alaba there before. Now we have
Alibaba.
Inigo, who's done very well to read the offside traps and be that sort of, experienced defender of the back line right next to Kubarsi, who, by the way, 17 years old. This guy goes under the radar for a promising youngster. This guy is hard in defense, but extremely comfortable on the ball. This guy is very promising, Pau Kubarsi. But going up against the likes of Harry Kane and company will be a very hard challenge. Then again, he has proved himself against Mbappe and the rest of the PSG bums. And granted that the second leg didn't go so well, it will be a hard challenge considering that Barca don't have two of their best center backs at the moment. So, and of course, we have the issue of having a penis in goal. So yeah, that's one department that will probably scare me the most. Like you could say what you want about Neuer's decline. I mean, you don't have
Yeah.
this in goal like we do. And
Well, but how
unfortunately,
do you know it?
Flick
It could
doesn't
mean
want to
that,
be
like,
disrespectful for some weird reason. The reports are most likely saying that Iñaki Peña will start ahead of Szczesny against Bayern Munich and possibly even against Real Madrid.
you know
So
what's funny though is that like even the thing is with Neuer this season seems like every single shot on target's a goal. Like at least with Pena, you could deal with maybe like if it's four shots on target, it will be two goals. Like
you see, the
Neuer, it's
thing
literally
is
your.
that the difference between him and Ter Statue is the fact that the statue shits himself during the game, but the penis, he shits himself as soon as he steps on the pitch. That's the problem. It's trash versus a complete landfill. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
am I would I be happy to see Szczesny play against Bayern? Yes. Hopefully something will change in that regard, but it seems like Flick is set on the penis starting. So prayers and hope to God that he could command his box and actually know when to come out. Like I
Yeah,
said,
that'll
we're
be
gonna
the
have to
important part,
Barca
especially.
will have to rely heavily not only on their attack, but also the high line being able to catch them in the offside traps that have worked so well for Barca this season so far.
But I think that's the real important part, though, especially with the style of play from both managers being very, very similar. Because a lot of people will point at the defense, for both Bayern and Barca, saying, "Oh, it's not too good; it's a weakness." But I think a lot of that has to deal with the style of play. Like they know if you score, let's say, 4 or 5 goals each match, you're gonna give up one or maybe two a match. It's different from winning 2-0, 1-0 versus winning 5-2. So I think, and I will say, I've actually liked both Kim and Upamecano this season. I think I've seen a lot of growth from them. I think the criticism for some of their play this season has been a bit harsh. I think the task they've been handed has been very difficult, and I think they've done really well in that. And I think in a way that's going to be really important to see, how they counteract that because really Barcelona can, you know, press, everything. Bayern can also do that. But it's a matter of, how much help do these center backs get from one, their goalie, and two, like the others around them, whether it's the midfield, fullbacks, and such. Because especially when I go back to that Frankfurt game, the center backs helped, Bayern, get 3 goals, but also they didn't really have enough help from the midfield and the others around when they conceded 3 goals as well.
Fair assessment. However, I only say our defense is a weakness currently because ours is injury riddled at the moment.
Yeah.
Also because we have a penis in goal. So as soon as if somehow Bayern were to run through the midfield and have a shot at goal, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take it. I mean, our defenders literally, if you watch their last game against Sevilla, our defenders literally tried to kill themselves to not allow any shots on goal because that's how much little trust they have in the penis. So for the first, anyways, to sum us this all up, we have our own takes. He has his own takes. This is going to be a game where it's not complete ass clapping from one side, as we've seen the last few.
Well, we hope so.
The one good thing about this is that I'd at least have faith that we'll score a goal because in the last goal against Munich, which is a crazy stat if you think about it.
Even a shot on target, because I think it was last game. I don't think you had one. The one before you did, but
Yeah, that was the one that got Cummins. The first Xavi game against Bayern. Not the one that where Levy missed like 80 chances. The one
yeah, exactly. He and Pedri.
against Europa. But yes, this is good to me, a more even side game, but also the first true test for both company and the first true test for Flick. This
Yep.
should be the best game this Champions League week, other than seeing Dortmund completely shit themselves against Real Madrid again.
Bro, they're still a disgrace for that, seriously.
Praise to German football. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Tomorrow is going to be my happy or sad day of the week. Regardless, I will be at a pub just like the man right over here, and I will be watching the game
No, I actually
with the
have work,
Guinness.
but still.
Oh, well, that sucks to be you. I will be at a pub with a Guinness in my hand, potentially a Stella, with wings and fries in front
I
of me.
wouldn't mix if I were you.
I said potentially. I don't know what I'm going to. But yes, this is what's looking forward. Tomorrow should be the funnest day of the week for myself and the most stressful day of the week for Mr. Matthew.
Yeah, indeed.
Anyways, guys, thank you much for joining. Keep up with our content that we continue to make, our YouTube shorts, our TikTok, our Instagram, Twitter, sometimes still popping as well. And we will be back with another video next time. Thank you guys very much. Have a great rest of your night.
Guess we believe it.